Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2005. We are back with more Idaho Vandals this week here. We are down to the 118th spot out of 119. But looking at the rest of our stat rankings, we're not 119 in anything, 118 in a couple places, but not 119. So I guess that's, it could be worse, right? Nowhere else to go but up, except for one more spot down, I guess. But Oregon is also struggling. They've lost a game here, which has pushed them out of the rankings. They are 26th, so they're still very close. Probably, I don't know if beating us would put them back in. It might. If a team in 20 to 25 were to lose, probably would put them back in. But it is just Idaho after all, who hasn't won a game yet, one of which being a conference game, the rest of them being pretty much just pup games for everybody else, including this one. This should be one of Oregon's easy winnable games. And in real life, I'm not really sure what the score was. I know in real life this year, Idaho almost pulled off a pretty incredible game against Oregon, but, they fell short. So, we're going to get into this game. There's an interesting bit about our team in this game, which I didn't look into before recording this game, so in the next video we'll have to look into it and see what exactly happened, but we will get there. So Oregon's opening drive here, they do drive it past midfield, but on a 3rd and 7, they cannot get it past our linebacking core, which is in pretty good position. So on our first opening drive now on a 3rd and 10, deep in our own end, our quarterback lays it out there, and I mean, that ball had a chance. There was a receiver over there, but it was going absolutely nowhere. So we're going to come up empty on our first drive here. So on 4th and 10, we're going to have to punt it away from our own end zone here in a shaking Austin Stadium. It is absolutely packed here under the lights. So Oregon with the punt return. It's looking like a pretty nice return, pretty promising, but the ball's going to be coughed up on the ground, and we're going to lay on top of it. So an early turnover for the Oregon Ducks, and now we are driving the ball past midfield. Now our quarterback, number 26, that's right, 26, not 16, is able to find an open man to get a huge first down. So I don't know what happened to our quarterback. I'm not sure how he got injured or when. It was during the last 3 grouping of games after our first one that he got injured. So we're rolling with our freshman here, number 26, currently. He's going to be the guy moving forward for at least now. I don't know how many more weeks we have without, but we're going to look at the injury screen in the next video for sure. So, in an absolutely shaking Austin Stadium, a 45-yard field goal for our All-American kicker, and he does manage to laser this one through. So I didn't know if he had a 45-yard leg on him, but apparently he does. So that's a nice weapon to have in the bag when your offense is as bad as ours is. So on the next drive here, Oregon can't do anything with it, and a batted ball ends up in the hands of one of our receivers, and he's going to take this one into the end zone. So just like that, a 3-point lead now turning into a 10-point lead off of a couple very nice plays. So off his back foot, he had to get rid of this one. That ball was batted perfectly, and 84 just with the concentration able to get his hands on it and get into the end zone for the touchdown. I mean, that is just a highlight reel play. We're going to have to put that one on SportsCenter Top 10, back then in this day. But the first quarter is going to come to an end, and we have a 10-point lead over Oregon, guys. A 10-point lead over the Oregon Ducks. Can you believe this? We can do anything against Boise, and Oregon seems to be a much easier opponent. So we're going to hand this one off to number 6. Number 6 on the outside edge. He's got some open space here across the 45, the 30, inside the 20, inside the 10, and he's going to get brought down. What is happening? What on earth is happening? What is Oregon's defense doing? What is Oregon doing? So trying to get in here on a 3rd and goal here. We've moved back a little bit here, and number 26 is going to try and hit a tight end in the back of the end zone, but Oregon had plenty of bodies in the end zone to make sure that that did not happen. So another 4th down is going to be coming up for the Vandals, and we're probably going to have to rely on number 48, our All-American kicker. So a chip shot for him, though. It doesn't matter how loud this crowd gets. A chip shot is good for him no matter what. So 13-0 is now the score in this ball game. So late in the first half, however, Oregon with a chance here to add some points finally, and their quarterback lasers it to a receiver, and he's going to fumble the football, and we're going to get on top of it. So we get another turnover from from Oregon, and just these mistakes have really just kind of, I guess, been Oregon's undoing, I guess you could say. It still doesn't make much sense that their offense has been as stagnant as it has in this ball game. So, but unfortunately, we were unable to do anything with the ball, and a terrible punt would give Oregon essentially the same field position. So they're back essentially where they started now, minus about 30 to 45 seconds. So after a nice run, it's going to be 2nd and 1. They're going to try and throw for it, and across the middle, it is caught, and the receiver's going to cut upfield to get inside the 5. So Oregon now knocking on the goal line, a chance to punch this one in here on 1st and goal. They're going to hand it off, and the running back's going to dive for the goal line. He's going to get across the plane, and Oregon's going to have their first touchdown of the game. So finally they score some points late in the first half. If you had told someone this earlier, I mean, just no one would believe you that Oregon would be not only trailing, but would only get its first points in the last minute of the first half. So 13-7 is your score, but Oregon now moving here in the second half across midfield, and on a 3rd down, they're going to get a completion here to the sideline, but it's going to be well short of the stick. So they're going to bring out their kicker for a 56-yarder. That's quite the kick. So the kick is up, and it's got a nice little angle to it, but maybe about another couple yards closer, and maybe would have had a chance, but I don't even know if he had it directionally. I think he pushed it wide right, too, so no good, but our offense is now struggling to move, so Oregon's going to have another shot with the football. It's a deep shot downfield, and it is caught. So now that's going to get Oregon inside the 40 of Idaho, and they are now moving the ball once again. So Idaho defense needs to do what it was doing in the entire first half, because now it seems like things are starting to maybe go right and starting to click a bit for the Ducks offense. And it was only a matter of time before it would, but on a 1st and 10 here, they're going to go with a fake handoff. Number 11 stands back there, all day to throw, no pressure to speak of, and it is caught for another 1st down. So Oregon continuing to move here, continuing to build some momentum on offense. The crowd is getting into it. They're feeling it. They're getting into it. So we got to tighten up here, and on 3rd and 6, we are tightening up. Need to just stop Oregon here, and it is caught for another completion and brought down right at the sticks, but I believe they're going to give Oregon that 1st down here. That was right at the mark. It was hard to tell from this camera angle, but I believe he is well good. He did make it. So 1st and 10 here, they're going to hand off to the running back. Following some blocks here, shakes one off here and gets into the end zone. No coverage on that run, just not very good. He just found the opening lane there, and Oregon had plenty of blocks for him to follow. So a 13-0 lead is now turning into potentially a 1-point deficit pending the extra point. So finally on offense here, number 26 rolls out, pressure in his face, and he floats this one, and it is caught inside the 30. We get a huge completion, and that gets us more than Oregon's passing yards. Can you believe that? We're out-passing Oregon. I can't believe that. So moving on ahead now on another 3rd down here, number 26. I don't know if that was a miscommunication. I don't know what that was, but it was a lame duck into the corner of the end zone where nobody was. We're going to bring out our kicker for this time a much longer field goal, and he nails it anyway, so it really doesn't matter the distance. Well, I mean, as long as it's within 50 yards, I would imagine. But either way, if it's in that 45 to 50 range, he is absolutely nailing it. So 16-14 is your score, but Oregon's not taking that one laying down, and it's a throw to the running back who cuts upfield and gets a huge pickup for the Ducks. So they're across midfield once again. So 3rd and 7 now. Number 11 rolls out here to his right and then throws to the left, and it is caught and again brought out of bounds well shy of the sticks. So it's going to be 4th and short, but it is probably going to be a kicking opportunity. I thought they might punt it from this part of the field, but no, they're going to try another long field goal at 55 yards, but we have a man run off sides. How do you run off sides? The kicker wasn't even set. They weren't even ready to snap it. What are we doing here? So Oregon's going to get a free gimme here. They're going to get a fresh set of downs thanks to an absolute blunder on special teams. And the 3rd quarter is going to come to a close. We're hanging on to a 2-point victory. So now it's all going to come down to the 4th quarter, ladies and germs. So on a 3rd and 18 now, after the fresh set of downs, Oregon's still struggling to move the football after a couple negative plays. And their quarterback unloads and finds an open receiver in double coverage. I mean, yeah, that's an oxymoron, an open receiver in double coverage. But that is exactly what happened because he did manage to catch that ball along the sideline, surrounded by 2 Vandals. So that is just how the cookie crumbles, I guess. But yeah, all day to throw, man. We've had some pressure on him. He has been sacked. Maybe we'll see at the end what the sack numbers are. I think he's been hit at least a few times. So, but either way, another 3rd down for Oregon as they've been really struggling on 1st and 2nd down, much like Boise did against this defense. I'm just going to claim that this defense is good, and not that the game is just kind of whatever. But either way, they can't convert it. So our linebacker did a great job of tracking this ball here and positioning himself pretty well in the zone. I don't even know if he necessarily had the most important part in that play, but either way. So on on a 31-yard field goal, Oregon looking to take a 1-point lead, and they're going to do just that. So 17-16 is now your score here in Eugene. Can you believe it? Can you believe it's a 1-point game in the fourth quarter? So we're in the driver's seat with plenty of time left to get some more points on the board, if at all possible. Number 26, it looks like, I don't know. I just, that was gross. He put like his entire body into heaving that football just for it to get intercepted. I mean, that's a not top 10. We had a top 10 play and a not so top 10. So we finally turned the ball over here. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of that. I'm sure we've been doing a lot of that in the games that we simmed, but in the games we've watched, we have not seen a lot of turnovers from our offense. But here's one here. So kind of evening the turnover battle, I guess. So on second and short here, it's a handoff to 24, and he's following the blocks again, and he dives for the goal line, but he dived about a yard short. So he's not going to get into the end zone on that play initially. He might have made some contact with a Vandal defender, and that's why he was short. I'm not sure, but he dove early. So on first and goal here, they're going to hand it off again, and into the end zone he is. He just walks in. There's no one there. Just easy. Just walks in. So Oregon now, not just with the 1-point lead, but they're going to extend it further. So pending the extra point, they will now have an 8-point lead over us, which they do. So we still have plenty of time here to get some points on the board here, and another weird throw is going to result in a huge pickup play here. Number 3 off to the races here. Obviously, we do not have the speed on this team to evade a Power 5 program in terms of speed, but it is still a humongous pickup here for the Vandals offense, and you gotta love it. You gotta love that. So that gives us a huge chance here in Oregon territory. So on second and short, we're gonna try and throw for it, and across the middle, it is caught, and he's gonna get brought down at about the 3-yard line. And ladies and germs, we are threatening here. We are threatening, and we are fighting. We're fighting back. Our offense is actually fighting. So Autzen is completely rocking here, and on second and goal, we're gonna hand it off to number 6, and he's gonna get into the end zone just barely. He gets tackled right at the goal line, but they're gonna say that the ball broke the plane, and I'm not going to argue with him. So we're going to get this top-down replay of it. Yeah, see, I don't know. I looked a little short, but they're going to give it to him. So on the 2-point conversion, number 26 rolls right into some pressure. There was absolutely zero chance. And he's been under a lot of pressure today. Hasn't been sacked too much, but the hurries, I think, is well over 10. So he's been under a little bit of pressure today in this game. So that's going to leave this game as a 2-point margin. And so on 3rd and 7, Oregon is able to pick up a huge first down right around the 2-minute warning, which doesn't happen, I guess. So rules, college football rules, you know. So the time is just going to continue to run here under 2 minutes. So now Oregon in a good position here. If they can get maybe another first down, they could probably ice the game potentially. So on 3rd and 6, they're going to throw for it again, and it's a humongous pickup along the sidelines. And it's going to be not only a first down, but it's going to completely flip the field for Oregon. And yeah, things are looking pretty dire now for the Vandals, who came within just 2 points of tying the game, and now going to have to burn a bunch of timeouts here and just hopefully pray that they can stop Oregon here. And it's a humongous pickup and another first down, and he almost gets into the end zone as number 24, man. Those little chunk 25-yard run plays, he's just been absolutely amazing with in this game. He's had like 3 of them, and we've just been unable to cover that run. So time burning down here under 20 seconds here, or at 20 seconds. It's going to be a handoff, and Oregon is going to score again. So if we couldn't stop them on 3rd down within the last minute or so of the game, that was essentially it. But now this touchdown really makes it, because now the game is a 9-point game, and we would be unable to do anything afterwards. So yeah, it's going to do it for the game here in Autzen. We travel all the way to Eugene. Put up a pretty resilient fight. This is probably the closest game we've had all year, I think. I think Utah State, we came within 1 possession. I think that was a 6-point game, so maybe that. But our second closest game being against Oregon, I'm not upset about that. I'm okay with that. So a pretty nice fight against Oregon here, but we are now 0-4. We are still searching for our first win. Oregon, we actually, total offense compared to Oregon, it wasn't like night and day. I mean, the big difference was they were able to run the ball a lot more effectively. Both quarterbacks played terribly. Ours, of course, played far worse, but passing-wise, the game was literally about the same. Same with sacks and stuff. We only converted a single 3rd down. You're not going to win doing that. Our red zone chances, we were only 50% in the red zone, another awful stat. So we can see glaringly why this game did not go our way. But still, to be as close as we were, I'll take some pride in that. Number 26 has a god-awful game here, 11 for 35. Jesus Christ. The fact that 265 yards came off of those 11 completions, though, I'll take it, And number 6 actually did have a decent game, but because of the sacks, we had less running yards. But he did still rush for over 100 yards, so that's a pretty good day, too. Both of our top receivers didn't have terrible days, too. I guess you would take that. You'd maybe want a little more, but not awful. Our left end, of course, has another pretty good sack here. We did sustain another injury on defense, so might have to tweak the injury setting in this game because it seems to be happening quite often. So we might need to turn that down. But coming back out of the Hub World here, we go to Ypsi to play Eastern Michigan, and we do beat Eastern Michigan by quite a bit. So we pick up our first win. I was hoping we'd watch our first win, but I wanted to get to this conference game and our first home game against Louisiana Monroe, which is where we are going to now tune into. So in the next video, we will look over the entire injury thing because I think it is a good list of players, including number 16. And we will also finally get our first bit of action inside the Kiwi Dome. We move up to 110 after that win. And UL Monroe is not good. So hope to see you guys when we take on our next conference opponent in Louisiana Monroe in the Kiwi Dome.